Hello everyone, I'm Georgia Morrison, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen 1988, and I represented the parish of Clarendon.
Hi everyone, I am Angel Bryan. I represented the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, and I am Miss Jamaica Festival Queen 2014.
Hi everyone, I am Katrina Grant Diagila, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen 2008, and I represented the beautiful parish of Westwood.
Blessings everyone, my name is Cherise Lavon Ricketts from Manchester, and I am Miss Jamaica Festival Queen 2015.
So let me tell you a little bit about how I entered the competition. For some reason, I just had a natural interest in pageants. I can't explain it, I don't know why, but I've just always been interested in the competition. And then I entered a pageant at my high school, the Miss Glenmuir pageant, and I won. So from there, it was just a natural progression into the Miss Jamaica Festival Queen pageant, and then I got a little push from a teacher at school, and the rest is history. What about you, Angel?
I always wanted to enter. I watched it on TV and I thought that this would be great for a young woman like me. I actually printed the application form 4 years before I entered. I never filled it out. And I think in 2014 a friend of mine came and said, well, you're going to do it this year. And I took the step and I won the competition. How about you?
Okay. Why did I enter? I wanted to shape myself into what I thought was the ideal Jamaican woman. And I thought that was someone who was not just culturally sound, but who was giving back to her community. For a long time, I think I felt like I wasn't really Jamaican enough. Like people used to act like because I never knew certain music or I never knew certain things, then I wasn't really Jamaican. And so I wanted to kind of learn more about my culture. I did it. I entered once in 2013, learned a lot about my culture. That was actually the year that Crystal Tomlinson won at Manchester and then won at the national level. I came third that year. And then afterwards I realized, you know what? Okay, I learned a lot about my culture. Now let me see how I can contribute to it. So in 2015, I entered to challenge myself to launch my own community project. And winning to me would have been the best way to launch a nationwide project. And so, yeah.
Well, I'm next. I was always a pageant girl. I started at age 12. I entered Mini Miss Grange Hill. I went on to Miss Grange Hill. I won both competitions. Then I went on to Miss Federal Grange Hill. So I won all the pageants in Grange Hill. Yes, I was a local pageant girl. And then I was approached at age 18 by one of my neighbors saying to me that you need to be a part of a pageant that really counts. And I said, okay. Which pageant is this? And she said JCDC's Miss Jamaica Festival Queen competition. So I looked up the Festival Queen competition and I said 18. I'm not ready. When I read up about what was required and how the queens looked, and queens like Georgia too, because I looked up Georgia and she was age 17 when she won, and I said okay, fine, but I'm going to wait until I get a little bit older, get more mature, and I really wanted to win for my parish. The fact that Westmoreland never won, well, they've never won the competition before my year, so I decided that okay, fine, I wanted to be the queen. So I wrote up a whole strategy, a whole book. It was a plan that I crafted that I'm going to do this after university. I'm going to come back after NCU and I'm going to enter. So I entered the competition in 2008. It was my last chance. I was, yes, almost 25. And everybody was pushing me, and my mentor, who's now deceased, Mr. Victor Drum, late Victor Drum of Rome, the sugar company of Jamaica, he just kept pushing me. He got the application form, he was the JP that signed it. He also got me to sign it up, and he delivered it to the JCDC office. He meant business. And the rest was history. I just started the journey, the Festival Queen journey. I entered, I think it was about 11 contestants in my year, and I came out victorious, and on our bus to Kingston National Finals. 2 weeks, great experience. So
let's talk a little bit about the journey now. Having been crowned parish queen and national queen. For me, it was just a lot of learning.
Yes.
As a young 17-year-old, I just learned a whole heap of things. I learned about myself, I learned about my parish, I learned about my country. I learn about current affairs. You have to study who is the minister of government
Oh,
for
yes.
this,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
you know,
yes.
so it was just a lot of learning and a lot of personal development. You know, the
Yes.
grooming, the social graces, the
The
protocol,
poise.
The poise.
all of
Yeah.
the life skills. I
Yeah.
must say that that was what I have
Mhm.
taken away from it.
So for me, it was a lot of learning. I mean, Kingston and St. Andrew training is intense. And so reading the newspaper, knowing headlines, but it's not just reading, but having an opinion on what is happening so you can lead a discussion. So when you're given a question and answer, you are able to, stamp your mark on that question. Learning a lot about your parishes. Myself, I learned how to manage time because I had a full-time job and I had other activities. I'm really involved in church, and making time to do all of those things while representing your parish and then moving on to represent your nation was like a big thing for me. But the life skills are things that never leave you. You're always once a queen, always
Always
a
a
queen.
queen.
I
Always a
think
queen.
Yes.
I think when Katrina was talking about her book of preparations, I can definitely relate. Before winning parish and after winning parish level, I had a huge whiteboard of all the categories that I would be, marked on, and all the things I needed to do in each of that category. And every day I went there and ticked something off of the list. I mean, I know that I went into that competition to put my best foot forward, and hopefully my best foot forward would be winning, and it was. One of the things that I definitely found most challenging was staying up to date with current affairs. Usually I don't like to follow the news as much because I find it a little bit stressful, and also when I come home from work I just want to sleep. But that was something that I found challenging. Also, I tend to be okay with orating and expressing myself through words, but the question and answer section was always something I was like terrified of. So what I did was, in training, every time they gave us a question, any question I heard, or even if I was just listening to the news, I would formulate questions and put it on this Word document. I had about a list of 30 questions. Every night I'd give my family the sheet. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna call a number, and then you guys ask me that question, and then they would tell me how I responded and all of that stuff. And I think that helped because it meant that by the time I was on stage, I had learned a formula of how to answer questions, as well as I'd learned how to be confident,
Yeah.
and not afraid of it. Like, it's easy. Just think about it, express your points.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. As Angel mentioned, once a queen, always a queen. When, excuse me, when I won the Westmoreland Festival Queen title, and I realized now that I was coming into Kingston, big bad Kingston, Westmoreland. The person said, Westmoreland, I've never won this show before, so I probably came in as an underdog, if I may say so myself. So persons weren't watching the storm that was brewing, So I had that Katrina the storm. So I had my book, like you had your book, Cherie. I had my book and I was doing my stuff. I was studying. I felt as if I was doing my master's in culture.
Yeah.
So I knew
definitely.
everything and the protocols and everything. When I grew up in the country. I'm from Grange Hill, Mintour. Big up Mintour people, yes, of course. And you would watch your television when you're eating on a Sunday. It's not about sitting around a dining table and all the formalities and everything. My parents taught us, well, yes, they did. But of course, you want to watch a TV and people would eat at different times. No, for me. There was a Sunday right after I won. My dad said, what are you doing around the table all by yourself? Eating with knife and fork? I said, I'm a queen. I'm going into Kingston, and we're going to have to go to some places that I'm going to be, well, I'll be expected to eat with my knife and fork and everything, the placement on the table and everything. So I was there all alone until my family started coming on a Sunday and getting in the group because they wanted to help me on this journey. And of course, my talent piece was based on my neighbor. I must say, my neighbor's name is Joe, and my spouse in my talent piece was Joe. So everybody in my community was a part of my Festival Queen journey. So I did it for the people of Westmoreland, and I'd do it again if I was 25.
I mean, as you said, family, it's a big part of the support to the crown.
Oh, definitely.
Your family and your friends, I mean, they'll go out of their way to get props.
Definitely.
I mean, what I wore on stage for my talent piece, none of it was mine. The hat, the leggings, the jacket, everything were like
I loved
friends
your
and
talent
family.
piece, by the way. I think, from all the years I've been watching, that one definitely stood out.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Loved it.
I mean, they put everything into it. You feel like you win for your community,
Yes.
you win for your family, you win
Oh,
for your
yes.
church, you win for your school, you win for your neighbors. And that is what really makes you that girl next door, that real Jamaican
Yeah.
person, because you have so many people that invest in you and you find a way to give back. And I mean, the community project is, I think, one of the best parts of the competition. You tangibly give back to your community.
Service above self, indeed. You mentioned the family and the community being a part of it. For me, I brought this joy to Westmoreland. You know, sometimes things happen, and of course, as Jamaicans, things have to happen to unite us as a people, right? And when on the night of the show, I remember persons called, well, not the night of the show, it was after I won the Festival Queen show. I went back to Westmoreland and I was doing a radio interview, and they gave persons the opportunity to call in. And this lady called in and said, Katrina, me say me floor bust out. We just jump up, feel the whole night, you know, and scream and everything. And I was there and I was in awe. I felt so proud to say, I'm from Granville, humble beginnings, and I brought this joy to Westmoreland, the people of Westmoreland. The very first for Westmoreland, I went home to a posh celebration. You know?
Oh wow.
Big thing, you know?
Nice.
I had a big homecoming, they would call River Come Down.
Yeah.
Yeah? In Westmoreland. Everybody came out
So,
for my
in terms of what I would say that I've taken away from this competition, for me personally, it was the whole personal development, the life skills, just learning all the protocol, the social
Yes,
graces.
definitely.
You know, right now in my circles, I am the go-to person for all things social graces,
Yes.
protocol, public speaking, to be an MC at a function.
Yes.
And I think it's because of the foundation that I
Yeah.
got from the Festival Queen
Yes.
pageant. What about you guys?
I was promoted at work recently, and and one of the things that, I mean, the directors of the company said to me that we saw what you did for Festival Queen and that kind of national representation, and we're sure you can translate that to our
Yes.
brand, to our
Yes.
company. And so just the personal and professional development, being able to lead a conversation, being able to mentor, that's so important as a Festival Queen. Being able to look up for the best interests of others. And you learn sisterhood, you learn working with women.
Yes.
We don't fight all the time. You know, you learn to develop other people. And I mean, that is such an important takeaway for me as a national ambassador.
Great. And forming bonds, lifelong friendships.
Yeah.
I've met some wonderful persons on my Festival Queen journey. I can start, I might say some names and then I get into trouble, but I must make mention of Mrs. Dark Thaxter.
Oh,
Mrs.
yes.
Thaxter
Oh,
was
yes.
the National Festival Queen coordinator in my year, and she was also my chaperone at times. And let me tell you something, if she's watching, Mrs. Thaxter would say, Katrina, you need to do this. You need to look like a queen. You must not walk without your handbag. And it's something that lives with me. I carry that every day. Voices in my head from Festival Queen, good voices. And my journey, Mrs. Thaxter and I went to Antigua for the JC's Caribbean Queen show. And that was an experience. My first time in Antigua, thanks to JCDC. And we had the chance to meet persons from other Caribbean islands. And I entered and was placed second runner-up. I won all the sectional prizes, or almost. I think I got 5 out of 6 sectional prizes. Yes, but I was placed third. But I felt as if I represented Grand Jamaica to the best of my ability, and I served my country with distinction and great pride, and I would do it, as I said, all over again.
As you mentioned, Miss Baxter, I think of Mrs. Carlin Kelly Reid in Mandeville. She is the Festival Queen coordinator there in Manchester. And I actually have on my wall that I wrote just this week, Grace Under Pressure, which is something she told me when I was entering the competition. And it's something that, you know, even when we came to Kingston, there was pressure. There definitely was pressure.
Yes.
But I would remember that mantra. And so even now, as I'm going through work and life and I'm feeling that pressure, I remember that. Another thing I definitely took away though is, as much as I was given to the community was given to me. There was just an expansion of, you talk about your homecoming.
Yes.
I had a homecoming they took me in 3 different vehicles from the edge of Manchester all the way to Mandeville Centre. I mean, there are all these people celebrating and all these people who really were rooting for me and who I got to meet and got to really understand, what my community really is about, which I appreciate a whole lot. Apart from that, I think I also feel like I gave enough meaning to people to change their lives. So I had an experience one time. I was just walking in Mandeville, and a lady came up to me and said, "Oh, you're Miss Festival Queen. I saw your project on TV, and I've heard you on the radio talking about it, and I just want you to know that it's really changed me, because my project was about mental health awareness and being open to talk about mental health issues and seeking help." And we ended up sitting down for like half an hour, and she's telling me how just from what she heard me talk about, she started talking more to her husband about things that she's been going through and seeking help and all of that. And she just spotted me on the road and saw that, and I was like, wow, how many other people in Jamaica did I actually impact just because I was on the airwaves? So that really, really kind of secured to me, okay, yeah, there was value that I added.
So
And
proud
then,
of
yeah.
purpose.
So let's talk about the prizes. Now, remember, I won in 1988.
Yes.
And my main
I was
prize.
a
That's what I
fourth
told her.
That's
My
what I
main
told her.
prize was a cash award of $10,000, and that was an awesome amount of money at that time.
I can imagine.
What about
I
you
can't.
guys?
Apart from the cash prize that we got, I got a living room suite from Singer. But I entered for the car, but man, there was no car in my year.
I entered for the car too.
Well, thanks to JCDC and Matt D's, I drove away in a spanking Nissan Sunny.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a driver's license.
Oh,
but
wow.
Thanks to Jamaica Festival Queen competition, I had to get my license to drive in my car. And Mrs. Taxter forced me, well, she encouraged me to drive to Kingston all by myself. So yes, I drove away in style, and I got a living room suite from Singer and a television from Singer.
So the entire year.
You cleaned up. You cleaned
Well, I
up.
got
Yes.
a TV, which my cat destroyed, unfortunately, a couple months after. But I also got cash prizes, and because I won 2 sectional prizes, or 3, was it 3? I won a couple of sectional prizes, so those added up, and it was a nice cash flow for the time. Yeah.
So
I
young
feel
worry about
ladies,
money for a
that's
while.
added incentive for you to enter very attractive prizes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. I mean, you can get wardrobe. I got a lot of jewelry from like different. I got spa treatments. So
I traveled across the island.
yeah.
So I'm an adventurer. I love
Oh.
exploring caves and waterfalls and that kind of stuff, and I think that's what I spend my money on, just going to exciting places in the island.
I mean, so if you need the money for school, I mean, that would be a great way to invest even in your own education.
Yeah.
You know what I did for my mom out of my Festival Queen prize money? I painted the entire house.
Oh,
And she felt so
wow.
proud. I felt as if, I was so rich. I painted the entire house, and she was so happy.
And I should
Yeah.
also add that both Katrina and myself had the opportunity to travel overseas and represent Jamaica
Yes.
in pageants that were held in the Caribbean.
Oh,
So that was great.
that was.
And I had to gym up,
And what do you mean?
Carl Williams from Uzuri, he did my dress.
Oh,
For
wow.
about 3 weeks, I was eating no meat, pure greens, because I wanted to have abs. Not
Yeah.
that, no, but I had abs back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
So in terms of advice to young ladies now, encouraging them to enter the competition, what I would say to young ladies is, if you want to overcome your shyness, if you want to build your confidence, if you want a voice and a platform, if you want to grow for your personal development, the Miss Jamaica Festival Queen pageant is the competition that you should enter. What about you guys?
I'd say beyond beauty and physical aesthetic, it's about the inner person. It's about becoming the woman that you dream of being. I mean, when you look at the history of Festival Queens, we have people in finance, in media, in
Oh, yes.
banking, we have counselors, we have teachers. There's a whole gamut of consultants and marketing people. And it's about women who are strong. Women who advance this nation every single day in their little area, wherever they are across the island. This sisterhood of beautiful Jamaican women. And so if there is anything that you think you cannot overcome, this competition will teach you just life skills about being a better version of yourself, and also bringing your better version to making Jamaica a better place.
It's basically changing lives. Using what you have, your God given skills, your God given talents, to touch persons' lives in a positive way, to give back, to be a part of the change that you want to see. Many persons believe that you always need money to make a change. We had our community projects, and I'm sure we touched many lives. So you can get a chance to make a change and help Jamaica to be the place that many persons want to come and live, raise children, and do business,
Yeah.
right? So of course, the Miss Jamaica Festival Queen is the platform. It is the time. So it's time for you to enter and fulfill your purpose.
I definitely think that if you want to find vision for your life and clarify that vision, the Festival Queen competition is something that can help you. It helps you from how you present yourself physically to the kind of person you are on the inside, and then also how you express yourself to your community. If there is anything that you are unsure about how to put yourself together, or how can I really make a change, or how do I speak in a way that people can understand, the competition is something that trains you. And whether or not you win, you will definitely
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely
true.
take away a lot of treasures. I also think that, especially if you are watching and you think that you have that little thing inside you, but there's that fear, there's
Yeah.
that, oh, I couldn't do that, it's
You
not
are
for me.
scared too.
Entering the competition is something that
Yeah.
definitely can push you beyond that.
Yeah,
For sure.
we were not like this before the
Yes.
competition.
But I did always load still.
No, but it has definitely
Yeah.
helped to raise who we are.
And we
Yeah,
were
definitely
scared.
pushes us.
We were scared. And
Yeah.
well, for me, I was shaking.
I was.
On the night that I won, when they said, and the crown goes to Miss Westmoreland.
Yes.
And I was like, people probably couldn't see. But
Yeah.
in my head, I was singing, for a moment like this, some people wait a lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah. So, if you are interested in entering the JCDC's Miss Jamaica Festival Queen, you can get more information on the JCDC's website, or just walk down or drive down to your parish office. You need to enter today. You, yes you.